Hey, y'all, welcome to Geek Freaks. I am Frank, and today I'm joined by Thomas.
Aloha, everybody.
And we got Phil.
What up, everybody?
We have a lot to cover today. First off, we're going to be going over Doctor Who getting canceled, some Hulu exclusives, and some X-Men 97 nostalgia. Before that, I want to give a shout out to our Patreon. Today I'm going to be picking Scott from Washington. We have two Scotts. The Washington Scott, thank you, man, for your patronage. You've been a very loyal patron. Shout out. Yeah. The other thing, too, is, hey, those reviews help us out, guys. 5 stars, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. I have not seen a new Apple one in a while, guys. Like, 2025 is the last one. So, drop us a review, DM it to me, I'll send you a mug. And then, lastly, hey, I don't like when you guys are talking about Doctor Who. No problem, we have timestamps in the description. Click around, and you'll find your spot. Let's get to our question of the week, y'all. So, this week, a original copy, I mean, God, the golden fucking goose, a Super Mario Brothers from the NES 1985's sealed sold for $3 million. So my question for you guys, which game being released today do you think collectors will fight over in 40 years from now?
I really had to think about this, is because there's so many new games that are coming out that are good, but it's like, are they legendary worthy?
Yeah.
And a couple of them came to mind. I had to write down a couple of them that were just like, okay, here are the ones, and I don't have to like really throw it out there because they'll be kind of self-explanatory, but Baldur's Gate 3 would probably be up there as one of those games.
Interesting, yeah.
Yeah,
I was wondering if you're
Helldivers
gonna
2.
say that. I've never played that, but like I know how like all my friends that played it love it. They think it's like the best game ever. So I'm like, man, I was wondering if you were gonna say that.
Mm-hmm. Helldivers 2, big because like there's an entire massive community. When I go to cons, there are cosplayers that are running around as Helldivers, so that's a big one. Elden Ring, obviously. For democracy.
Yeah, Elden Ring, I think you got something with that one. If you can get like one of the original collector's editions unopened, that is a mint. For sure.
One for sure that I know is going to be worth money down the road, Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah. Oh my God.
That's a good one.
Yeah. And then the last one, the collector's edition for if you got the original run of Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah. With all the bugs and mess ups.
With all the bugs and the mess ups. I have that version actually, so.
Nice.
Ooh, man, you got some good ones.
That is some good
Dude,
ones right
I got the perfect one. God of War Laffy. It's gonna kill.
I cannot wait for that game.
I'm excited
so
for
hyped
that game.
Dude, it's like the combat of the original God of Wars, but with the fidelity and the storytelling of the newer ones. Yeah,
I know. I just had to make the joke because people are so mad about it. I'm like, it looks awesome. I know. I don't get why people are tripping on it, but
it actually does look good. And that's where, like, you know, I guarantee you it's going to come out and it is going to be a great game. It's still going to get terrible ratings because dudes.
Good. Okay. I'll play it and I'll tell you guys how good it is. I don't care what you guys think.
I'm going to play
and
it.
You know
I'm
what?
buying it.
The three of us know how to use the internet well enough to rage bait the hell out of other people. So we're going to have really good videos during that phase. And I'm fine with that. Screw them all.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
We had one video where we said like the ending of The Boys was actually good. Oh, that bad boy took off. I was like, you fools. I knew exactly how to market that thing to you guys.
But I like the endings.
Yeah,
like, I stand by that. I do actually think it was good. Like it's rage bait, but like you know, for the alpha males who are secretly all followers and whatever betas and whatever. It's like,
dude, if you call yourself an alpha male, you're not.
Yeah, if you're more excited about UFC this weekend over the Knicks, then yeah, you're the kind of guy that's going to complain about that.
Okay, question before we move on though.
Yes.
Do you think Wolverine will be one of these games?
No.
Ooh, I don't think it's going to be up there. I think it's going to be a great game.
Yeah.
Do I think it's going to be a classic that is a collector's, you know, oh, I need to have this game? Probably not. But I mean, I do think it's going to be a great game.
I think the key to that is because it has to be a game that you wouldn't know is going to be big, but you happen to have like an unopened version of it.
Okay.
You know, for it to be big money. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to go with, it's not going to be $3 million big, but it could be $300,000 big. I'm going to go with Clair Obscur. Clair Obscur, that
great
game,
pick.
Yes.
Incredible. That game is so good.
Yeah.
That was the last game. We'll talk about 007 First Light in a little bit, but I think like since that game, that was like the last time I was like obsessed with something. And like it was Clair Obscur, and then games I play with my friends just because I play with my friends, and then 007 First Light, but we'll talk about it later.
Yeah, Clair Obscura was one of those creeper games that nobody, like some people were like, oh yeah, this game is going to be great. But when like it was like this indie game that became damn near AAA title on its own, and it just everybody fell behind it. It was such a great game.
Yeah.
So good.
All right, let's go ahead and dig into the news. We're going to be first starting off with Doctor Who getting canceled here. I want to clarify something because, my God, were people spicy. And first off, let me clarify two things. I do not watch Doctor Who regularly, so I don't know everything about it. But it's also not necessarily canceled. They canceled the Christmas special coming up in December, which sucks. And the guy that was making it right now, he said that basically there was never a plan to actually come out with a Christmas special. This is Russell T Davies. Or Davis, I should say, because it's British. And there was never a script for this or anything like that. Even the ending that they had for the last season was just kind of hogwash. And right now they're shopping it out for other companies to get into other studios. I'm kind of thinking Prime is a good studio to pick this up. Disney tried. Disney didn't find the audience for it. But I think Prime has this thing where they like to, surprisingly, stick to the source material quite a bit. And I think they could take this property and kind of, I wouldn't be surprised if they just back up a ton of money to David Tennant's house and lift the gates and let him have all the cash he wants to come back and be the 14th Doctor or whatever again. I think that's their best move. Is there any particular studio you guys can see like really handling this one?
Well, my question with that is like, would I think his name is like Nkuti Gatwa? Would he be out? Does that mean he's?
He already
gone?
said he's out. That was the whole point of the season finale for the last season, was that they were phasing him out because he didn't, he got a lot of backlash, unfortunately. Every fandom has their fans, you know what I'm talking about? And
that's funny because I actually watched the last Christmas special that they had, and I was like, I didn't know what the F was going on. I don't watch Doctor Who either, but I know the fan base. And I saw Matt Smith talking about it at a convention, and I was like, that sounds pretty cool. Well, I was surprised. So many people were asking him about Doctor Who and not about House of the Dragon. I was like, this show must be amazing. I got to check it out.
Right.
And I watched this Christmas special, and I actually really liked it. So it's interesting that it didn't work in a sense. But I could see Prime. I think you're right. Prime could be good. It's softer than some of the other stuff they have out right now, in terms of like everything is like really hyper violent, you know what I mean? And so I think this would bring in a different type of audience to Prime. I think they do a good job with it. I could see that working.
I think Prime has a really good way of producing ultra violent, but also still on message with the original source material, where they kind of appeal to both sides in a way that you wouldn't expect. Like how many times, like let's be honest, The Boys, we were just talking about how much people hated that ending and how political it got, but also because it was so violent, nobody's gonna stop watching. And same thing with Fallout and things like God of War will probably be the same thing. They're pretty good about that.
And Prime has the money, like everything's gonna look good. Everything's gonna sound good, like cameos. Like think about the last season, I had the cameos with like Seth Rogen and it's not Will Arnett, it's McGruber. But like all of them just being in that room, or Kamal Nanjiani there too. It's like, what? For like some one-off episode where they all get murdered. Like, all right, but it was hilarious. It's like Prime can do that.
Yeah. Something.
I agree with Prime taking this, just because what I've noticed with Prime is they're really good about doing things the way where I complain about other studios not doing. They let the nerds take their properties and make the properties like for the nerds, because you look at everything that you've seen on Prime and it's all geared towards the audience that they're targeting, that they're going for. And I think a lot of that comes from Bezos initially when he bought the studio that became Prime. It was all because of The Expanse. His whole thing was he was a big Expanse nerd, and he was like, man, they're getting rid of The Expanse. I want to continue The Expanse, and got like a whole new writing team that took it in new directions but stayed close to the source material. I think he is really good about finding nerds that know the source material and making good properties out of it, because name one show on Prime that has like not been good.
Yeah, even the ones they stop or cancel early, like Fleabag or whatever, is still a very good show.
The Tick. I mean, we should have gotten way more seasons of The Tick.
That's a good point.
Yeah. But Fleabag, she was just, because she was off to the races. She was like, hey, you want to write Tomb Raider? Hey, you want to be in Indiana Jones? It's like, sure. So Yeah,
people.
but good point. That's a good point. Yeah, I think the creative teams they put in charge there like are fans of the material, so
Mhm.
it's hard to go wrong. I think, and it's not, which I think we'll talk maybe about the DCU a little bit, but it's like, is there being, is there too much of being a nerd though, where it can actually hurt you? I don't know. I think we'll kind of get into that in a future topic, maybe.
We might be getting oversaturated a little bit with like nerd content. I know for when I talk to my folks and they're like, "Hey Frank, what's a good thing to watch?" I really have to try to find something that's not too nerdy for them. Matter of fact, I had my uncle who is very straight and narrow. Like he doesn't really watch a lot of like the Superman stuff or whatever.
Man, Blue
Yeah, well,
Bloods.
he was asking me about Spider-Noir because he's like, I like the
Oh,
noir
oh.
part. And he's like, but is there a lot of swinging around? I'm like, well, it is a Spider-Man show. And so
Mhm.
he does Spider-Man things, but it's a detective noir story first.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think, trying to find something that's a happy medium is good for that. And maybe that's something that the new owners of Doctor Who can do is try to broaden the audience. Because I think right now, much like Star Trek, it thrives, it breathes off the diehards that kind of haven't been there the whole time. They might not find that new audience like they're expecting to do. So it's a tough, tricky road they got ahead of them.
I almost feel like Paramount, if because right now they don't know what direction to take Star Trek in.
Yeah.
I almost feel like they should partner with Prime because there are a lot of executives at Amazon who are massive Trek nerds.
Yeah.
You mean the Paramount that just bought Warner Brothers?
Yeah.
I didn't even put in the notes because I was like, let's wait. We have too much depressing stuff going on.
With all that though, I mean, we go on so many rants about this particular subject on our
Yeah.
show. So it's like it's not like there's not a plethora of opinions out there of how we
Oh, of
all
course.
feel about this merger.
Yeah,
Sure.
we did a whole
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
about like why you should care about this merger because I felt like there's a lot of people when I was talking to them, they were just like, I don't care. Isn't all one streaming service? I'm like, no. You don't understand. So we literally did a whole piece on that, and there's a lot of reasons to be worried about that. That being said, hopefully Paramount does find a good future for Star Trek. I know that they will likely want to bring it back to the 90s, probably, which I think in general can be good. We'll see how that goes, and hopefully, I feel for these fans, these Doctor Who fans, because again, like Star Trek fans, just so passionate about this project, and you go through these droughts, and it's like, hey guys, just hold out there. It's not canceled. It will come back. As a Star Trek fan, I know exactly what's going on here with this. You just got to find the next person who's going to be investing their time and money. Real quick, talking about the British people, we have Only Murders in the Building. The new season's heading over to Great Britain or the English or whatever. We have a stacked cast with this bad boy. First off, I'll just throw it out there right now. David Tennant. He's coming in on this. I put that over on Threads, and it was just like, holy shit, I'm watching this now. I can't think of many other such beloved actors as David Tennant, where if he's in something, I'm going to watch it just because he's like a nice guy who I know does nice things. Pedro Pascal to me is on that same level. I don't know.
Totally.
I'm happy to see you.
Well, who's David Tennant's co-star in Good Omens? That guy too?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, and I feel bad I can't remember his name, but you're right, 100%.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
blanking on his name right now, but that guy
David
seems great.
David Tennant's one of those guys where he can play a villain and we still love him.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he was
Ooh,
Crawley, and I was just like, such a big fan.
Well, Crawley's one, but I mean, like, you also look at him as Purple Man, right? Like,
yeah,
amazing
yeah.
character as Purple Man, right? You
Yeah,
look at
yeah.
him as
Harry Potter, he was back
I was
too.
gonna say in Harry Potter. I
Yeah.
forget the name of the character, but I mean, like, the Slytherin, the Death Eater character that he plays. Like, again, we just love David Tennant. There's nothing he can be in or nothing that he can play that will make us not like David Tennant because he's just so good.
Michael Sheen is the other
Michael
guy.
Michael
Sheen.
Sheen. There it
He always
is.
seems like a lovely man.
We had talked about this on Challenge Accepted, but I'll bring it up here because maybe people don't listen to both. It's crazy, but he donates his entire salary to charity. How cool is that?
Mhm.
Michael Sheen.
Yeah.
What a good
Crazy.
guy. The rest of the cast that's being added from the British front is going to be Jodie Whittaker, Jim
Another Doctor Who.
Broadbent, Richard Ayoade, which is also on the new season of Taskmaster, by the way, Adrian Lucas, and Catherine Hunter. I believe Catherine Hunter is from Andor. One of these is from Andor. One of them is another Doctor Who. A lot of these people, you've seen them in other things. And so it's just an excellent cast. Bridgerton. Yeah, it's a good one.
What would you say to somebody who really liked season 1, couldn't really get into season 2?
Yeah.
What would you say to try to get them back into the show?
So I'll say, first of all, this is a binger. You shouldn't watch this week to week. I think it releases week to week, but you should watch it in binges because it plays better that way. The whimsy, it's so interconnected between each episode that if you go week to week, you kind of forget the like whimsical joke that's being carried along. You have to just kind of be in the mood too. I do feel like it has its slow parts. It lets certain characters breathe, but for the most part, I had somebody today ask me, should I start with the new season or should I start from the beginning? I'm like, I would love to tell you to start at the new season. You got to watch from the beginning. Every character grows, every character bonds, and the cast expands in a really cool way. Where there's so many side characters that just makes the building more alive. Now this one is going, across the pond, but I can't imagine them not still bringing some of that, legendary cast with them too.
Cool. Love
Yeah.
it.
Swinging over to Gorilla Grodd and Jimmy Olsen, they're going to be starting shooting on this. Now, this was called DC Crime at first, and people were kind of like, it was on Black Burner, was it going to happen or whatever. It is actually going to start filming, and it's going to be Gorilla Grodd and Jimmy Olsen. To me, I can't find what Jimmy Olsen's going to be doing with Gorilla Grodd, because I'm just like the Flash. It's always the Flash. Any ideas on what this is going to look like?
100%. I think Jimmy Olsen's just going to be an investigative reporter. I think that's the whole thing is him investigating different kind of like leads that he's getting, and kind of this is also a way that we learn about Gorilla Grodd. I wouldn't be surprised if we get Ultra Humanite in this as well. I would love to see Vandal Savage kind of make his way into this, and him be a villain in the later season. Because the idea behind this is they're focusing on profiles of villains, to introduce characters down the road, and each season's going to be a different villain. So if we're getting Gorilla Grodd,
such a good idea.
Yeah,
of how this could tie into some to a property like Peacemaker.
Right.
If they start introducing all these villains and we really like them, or we're like, they're not going to kill most of them. Like, they learned the Marvel lesson. Like, they're not going to kill off all the villains. So if they all go to, what's that place called? Paradise?
Sanctuary.
Sanctuary. Yes. Thank you. If they all go to Sanctuary, man, now Peacemaker, his team's just getting bigger and bigger for, forgot what that team is called.
Checkmate.
There's like a
for Checkmate. Yeah.
Dang, I don't know any names, but thank you guys. Coming in clutch.
They're floating around, and just when I need them, they'll kind of come up to the front, but for the most part, they're just floating around.
And that's the whole thing is like Sanctuary.
Right at the perfect time.
Right. The whole idea behind Sanctuary is like it's a prison planet for villains, right? So I mean, like, we get all these villains. We're getting Gorilla Grodd, we're getting Vandal Savage, we're getting all these different characters that end up in Sanctuary, and in the end, James Gunn kind of made not a mistake, but he let something slip maybe 2-3 weeks back. Somebody posted a bunch of pictures of villains, and basically somebody said, yes or no, are all these characters going to end up in the DCU? And he said all of them but one.
Ooh.
He didn't say which one it was.
Yeah.
Right. I know in the past he said that he doesn't want to do the New Gods because the DCEU so recently did Apocalypse and all those characters. But Apocalypse is a character, not Apocalypse, sorry.
Darkseid?
Darkseid is a character that is so intrinsically tied into Sanctuary that we can't not do the New Gods because they're part of that storyline.
Right. Yeah, I know. That's what I find that interesting. I feel like that's just a deterrent, and that's something you just say as like movie talk. And what's soon, right? Like, maybe not 2026, maybe not 2027, but 2028. That's maybe not so soon. Maybe you bring him in then, I was like, yeah, how do you not bring in that character? That's like a Thanos level comparison. So I can't see them not doing that.
I mean, Thanos as a character is based on Darkseid.
Yeah.
Same writer, by the way. The same writer created the character.
They both, Jack Kirby made both, right?
Both Jack Kirby characters, yep.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean you can't like lead like little, mother box here, boom tube there. Like, we could get these little clues along the way that's slowly building out like what is there beyond this. But before that, we could have, the Legion of Doom or whatever, all kinds of fun other projects going on.
Well, Safran, again, another mistake. He said that they're working on a Justice League project, which they had not said anything about that.
That's really huge. That's too big.
Yeah, that's what's interesting. Okay, so this is what's interesting about this show that we're specifically talking about, because it's like, think about all the big stories and big characters and properties, right? And I guess what I'm curious about for you guys is Superman was a success. It was good. but it
Yes.
didn't make $1 billion. It didn't make like typical like Avengers movie money. And we're talking about one of the biggest superheroes in the world, right? There's Superman, Batman, and Spider-Man. And with Peacemaker, also season 2 did okay. It didn't do like gangbuster numbers like they were hoping. So with Supergirl kind of trending towards the lower end of a release at the theaters, if that movie doesn't make $500 million, do you think the DCU has to change direction? Like, do you think it's in trouble, or do you think they can or do you think they just have to pivot to all the big characters?
Yeah, I think we have to redefine what success looks like for DC. I think we have to, understand that they definitely have a template ahead of them that Marvel didn't have when they were building the MCU out. But also, we should be somewhat forgiving, like we were that first phase of MCU when they were really kind of finding their voice. And then, sure, 10 years from now, we could be all scrutinizing like we do with, Wakanda Forever or something. But at this point, I'm hoping that the leadership at I guess Paramount now, sees this all and can kind of register what success looks like based off of what they're building and not necessarily what they expect to come out of immediate box office. You cannot compare Supergirl to if you came out with the Guardians of the Galaxy. Both movies I feel like will have very similar feels, but they are definitely not playing by the same sport. And frankly, you should be comparing it to other, similar movies, but not Marvel movies. And that's the thing that we were talking about with TV shows. You can't compare Peacemaker to, like you're saying, Game of Thrones, although you'd expect to because they're both on HBO. You have to compare it to Moon Knight. And it did Moon Knight numbers. It's hard because DC's competing in a very interesting market right now.
Storytelling is king in all of this.
Yes.
And my whole thing is it may not make gangbusters right now, but the thing is that if they're establishing the universe with these first couple of movies and they're telling good coherent stories, which is what James Gunn and Peter Safran have said is their goal, then I am 100% happy with this. Like, again, we're going to talk about comparisons. Masters of the Universe has not made a lot of money, but that movie is amazing.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Okay, hot take. I had a lot of fun with it too. But I did fall asleep in it.
Oh, come on, man.
Right.
Hey,
Sorry.
that happens.
To be honest.
No?
So I liked it a lot, and I thought, man, this lead is great in it. But I wonder what that also says about like the industry right now, because it has a lot of reviews like what you said, Phil. So it's like, I'm curious. I'm so curious to see how Supergirl does. I think it's going to be like a real test for the DCU.
Yeah, I think a lot of, and this is a tangent, but I'm going to be short. Masters of the Universe, Jared Leto is part of the reason why a lot of people were cringe to not want to go see this movie.
Yeah,
and he happens to be the
that.
best part of the movie. So it's just
It
like,
is
I know
it's so wild when you hide him behind an entire skeleton CGI.
Yeah.
He thrives. He is so good in that role, and it's
well,
so
it's because
wild.
he's so over the top, and that's the whole thing. Is that's what you
Yeah.
need Skeletor to be, is someone who is over the top.
I had offhandedly called that character in that episode or in that movie an evil drag queen, and what I mean by that is I take it back to Ursula, which is actually based off a drag queen, where it's like they're so over the top and they're gonna like they're in the middle of Broadway stage, but on a movie, and that's what Skeletor does. But like that cackle is so good, and so Jared Leto, like if you think about it, outside of all the bombs that he's had lately, like that's kind of his thing, is being that character. So let him have it.
Yeah. I mean, the guy seems like a weirdo. I'm not necessarily a fan of really anything, but you go back to like Dallas Buyers Club and he's pretty good in that movie.
That's my comparison to everything. Is I've been saying that this is his best performance since Dallas Buyers Club.
Which is sad. He's had a lot of roles.
Yeah,
that's true. That's true. But it's also like when he has to be more stoic and contained and whatever, like that's not his bag. Like let the guy just go all out. Like let him be whimsical and crazy. And
let him be over the top.
You're
Skeletor
right.
was the perfect casting for him.
Yeah,
it was. And you couldn't see his face at all. So take note, Hollywood.
Maybe
not.
With like DC, Gorilla Grodd, Master of the Universe, and like we're seeing with Street Fighters coming up, maybe there's this new era of earnest, adaptations. Maybe we're getting to that point where people are just gonna be like, take it for what it is, guys. If you're not into a talking skeleton or into a gorilla that's smarter than the people around him, don't watch it. That's fine.
Yeah.
We won't be anything
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. I hope
And
so.
that,
It's just like give us the thing we want. Like we've always wanted as kids. Like just give us that. Which
Yeah.
I would give the MCU credit for that.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
think Street Fighter is going to be that. Like, I think honestly, Street Fighter is going to
too.
be what I've been
I
wanting
think
since I was a kid.
I'm more positive on Street Fighter, I think, than some other people out there. But I think it's actually going to be pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
And pretty fun.
Speaking of that, we have a new Transformers movie that was announced. This one's going to be done by Jason Fuchs, and he did Welcome to Derry, which I think is probably the best thing to kind of tout for him. And this could be one of those opportunities. We saw it a little bit with Bumblebee, but maybe this is one of those things where they just bring it back to, we don't need to over CGI this. We could just tell a story of a kid that's got a new robot pal. This could be an opportunity to do that again. It's Paramount as well. I should stop saying that. It's all going to be Paramount pretty soon. Matter of fact, I don't even know if they're the sponsor of this episode. I better double check that. But
by the way, this episode brought to you by Paramount. Like, but honestly, okay, I stand by last two Transformers movies, pretty good. Rise of the Beast.
I didn't even give him a chance.
Rise of the Beast was fun. Like I had a ton of fun.
Okay.
I liked the actor. Again, don't know anybody's names. Again,
Ramos.
he played the Hood. What's
Ramos.
that? Ramos.
Anthony
Ramos.
Ramos.
Anthony
Yeah,
Ramos. We're on top of it today.
Yes. Four. Nice. But like honestly, I liked him in it. I thought that movie was fun. I thought the action was cool. There was like some lighting issues in it, and it's a cheesy action story. They could have gave it a little bit of depth. But if you want to see robots fighting and like turn into animals and fight, it was perfect. It was like, this is awesome.
That's what Transformer fans have been wanting. Is I just want robots fighting.
Right. You know, and I think they did a good job with that. And then the animated movie with Chris Hemsworth, and I think it was like Brian Tyree Henry and ScarJo. That movie was good. Nobody watched it, but it was actually like it was like the first time I felt that emotionally attached to the Transformers outside of the comics.
Well, I think that's the key though, right? Is because that movie brought it back to characters. And when I think back to, the old original ones that came out, like in 2010 or whatever, I remember like feeling Optimus Prime could really save us and feeling connected to Bumblebee, like I want a Bumblebee. And with the newer movies, I didn't feel like that. I was just like watching CGI things fight each other. And so I think if they could bring it back down to character building and actually get us invested in these characters, I could see that being cool. I mean, I remember the first time I was like, I don't know if I'm watching these anymore. It's a John Goodman one. As much as I love John Goodman, his like bearded Transformer, I was just like, this is just stupid now. And I really fell off that. But I want to invest back into Transformers.
You know which one lost me? Which was it was the one where one of the Transformers had like nuts.
It was like, I think that was the same one he's talking about.
Is it the same one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just
I think
like,
that's the one where they did
on,
Galvatron. Like basically they did a very bastardized version of Galvatron. And it's just like, come on, man. Like now you can reintroduce Galvatron because they introduced Unicron. So it's like, okay, we have Unicron, which means you can do Galvatron. But I mean, like with all of this, I just got to ask you guys this. Did either of you guys watch Transformers Siege on Netflix?
Not at all.
I tried. I'll be honest, I tried, but I don't think I got into it.
That Rooster Teeth did such a good job with that because they leaned really into the lore. They had a lot of connection with the characters, and they circled around because they circle back to Beast Machines. They circle back to all kinds of different things. And they kind of, what they did is took a bunch of different lore that kind of has not made sense. And it's like, here's something we did in the comic books, and then we contradicted it in the movie, and then we contradicted this and all this. They took all of the storylines, all the plot lines that matter to anybody, and they mashed it together and told a coherent storyline within those 3 seasons that they put out. Transformers Siege is easily the best Transformers property since the original.
Holy shit! That's a big
you just sold me on that.
Yeah.
You can quote me on that. I 100%, and I said this on our show too. Go back and watch it. If you guys have not watched Transformers Siege on Netflix, again, one of the things I was always confused on was the connection between the Beast Morphers, the Beast Machines, and the original Transformers, and they tell that story perfectly.
Wow. Hey man, well, you sold me
I will
on
be
it.
checking that
Also
out. Yeah.
weird that one of the best Transformers properties is not on Paramount Plus. It's on Netflix, but whatever. That was like a side thought. you
Yeah.
know, like ADHD
That is
coming in.
weird.
Oh, the last thing I want to say is like, okay, so if you didn't watch the Rise of the Beast movie or whatever, the end credit scene or mid credit scene or whatever,
Yeah.
is the showing that GI Joes are on the way. Like it, you know,
Yeah.
they hint like, hey, GI Joes. To me, that's such an easy win because like when I was growing up, I had Transformers toys, but for every Christmas, my grandpa would send me a GI Joe, and I still have them all in the boxes, like from the 80s, you know, and I always I love the cartoon and I even love the cheesy PSAs at the end of every episode. But it's
Go
like,
Joe.
man, yeah, if you find talk about an easy way to make a human story is like you have this elite team, and then you look at what Skybound is doing, and you look at what Robert Kirkman is doing over there
Mhm.
with Transformers and GI Joes, and it's like really tying in this super cool world. It's
I didn't know
like
Kirkman was doing that one. Okay, that's cool. That's
yeah,
cool.
yeah, he took over pretty much most of the Transformer, or all the Transformers. He has his own thing called Void Rivals too, that's set in
Mm.
that universe. That's supposed to be like the connector piece. And then
Hmm.
there's GI Joes, and it was like, you know, he was kind of the overseer of it all. He was like the Kevin Feige of that
Yeah.
comic
Nice.
universe. And yeah, there's some really really good stories in there. But talk about like human moments and just like what drives these characters and stuff. I'm really excited for Transformers. Like I really want, yeah, I'm gonna watch Siege, but yeah, I hope that they are able to like bring this home
Um,
with the GI Joes.
I would one last note on this, by the way, to address kind of what Thomas was saying there. This is the other Transformers movie being made. They are still making the G.I. Joe crossover. 2 different projects, 2 different directors. Neither of them, right now, Michael Bay. Michael Bay is the producer of these. He hasn't said he wants to direct it. So keep that in mind.
Nor do I want him to. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think I'm good on
this-
him not directing.
I do too,
He'll
actually.
produce it. I mean, he's gonna produce everything, but yeah,
Yeah.
let's find some new blood.
It's enough lens flare and lack of story and everything.
All right, let's make our way over to our discussions for this episode. I do not know how British this episode is going to be. We're going to talk back about it again. Damn it, those notes.
Wow.
They just announced today the new law that they're going to be implementing, where no one under 16 is going to be allowed to make a social media account. Initial reaction on this, because I kind of think it's a good idea. What's your guys' initial reaction? You're a new dad over there, Thomas. What are you thinking?
I actually want to know Thomas's whole take on this, because Thomas, you are one of my favorite TikTok accounts, because you literally help me with my mental health on a regular basis. So
Hell yeah.
That left me speechless, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. I don't know what to say now. No, as a new dad, yeah, I think this is great. I mean, honestly, like I notice when I'm too much online, and I really appreciate you saying that, Phil, because it's like I was like racking my brain. I'm like, what's the message gonna be? Like, what can I say out of my experience that might be helpful to other people? And like, it was like a day where just I was having no inspiration, like nothing was coming to me. So I was like, maybe the point today is just to like not be on my phone right now, you know? And I think it's healthy. I think we need, like anything that's too much, it probably is bad. Even too much of a good thing is bad. And so I think too, with how much information is out there, with how much of the world these kids are seeing and we're seeing, right? There's like so much things like I don't even want to see that gets put in front of my face. And I'm like scrolling through threads and it's like, I can't stop seeing it, right? I think this is a good thing so that, you know, these kids can just kind of figure out their own life, you know, narrow down the comparison to maybe just their classmates and not the world in general. Like, you know, whatever you're into as a kid, right? Like now there's a kid in China who's like 10 times better, or Russia, or, you know, if you're in California, now there's a kid in New York who's like 1,000,000 times better than you. I can't imagine that feeling at a young age. Like I knew there was kids in my school that were better at things that I liked. And you're like, you can deal with that. But like when you feel like the whole world is better than you, I don't know. I just think that deteriorates your mindset. I think that just, it makes it really depressing. And I think there's ways that parents can engage with their kids to just kind of tell them maybe what, you know, the dangers of it, but also like what life is about in a way. Maybe there's more opportunity to like engage with your kid, or you take them to the movies, or you sit down and watch a show with them.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I don't know. I think that
It's
I
hard
think
because the
there's more.
adults are also using social media to somewhat numb our day-to-day lives too. So it's hard to
So
not
true.
it's hard to break that out of your kid. Yeah.
But you want to know something crazy? And I so agree with you. One thing I think about a lot now, especially when I'm like on my phone and I'm commenting or whatever, scrolling, I think about the scene in Thunderbolts where John Walker is like reading the news about himself and he's like all depressed and his kid's
Yeah.
crying in the crib or like the
Good call.
playpen. And like I think about that scene a lot now when I like notice I'm on my phone and I'm getting mad about something and
Yep.
I see my son sitting there and I'm like, dude, just put it down. Like just go
Yeah.
sit with him for 5 minutes or whatever, you know, and it's like that was a good reminder for me. And yeah, I think even I needed that reminder sometimes.
I literally have talked about my therapist with my therapist. It's one of the things we've been talking about is like, how is this affecting me in my emotion right now? It doesn't need to be. Because, like politics, whatever, I'll get all heated up. And then I'm like, I'm getting mad in a room by myself with just my 2 dogs, which are the most calming things in the world. And I'm just getting mad at a phone over something that I have zero control over at this point. Not until November, buddy. And then I'll have some control over it. But anyways, so it's like, put the phone down, change your mindset, play with the dogs, focus on the dogs, or something like that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the thing too is like kids, they're not developed yet. They're not mentally developed yet. Like Thomas, you're very
Right.
good about it. I try to do my best, but and I know Phil, you do as well. Where we are checking in with ourselves, kids don't do that. They don't know to do that, and so they're
Right.
just being manipulated without knowing they're being manipulated anyway. That's tough to do.
Yeah. I mean,
It is, man.
I think it's a good idea to limit social media for kids under 16, just because, again, I was talking to I mentioned mental health, right? Like, I mean, like one of the biggest factors in negative mental health with kids under the age of 16 is Instagram, is TikTok,
Mm.
is these different
Yeah.
social media platforms where you are comparing yourself to other people and making these negative comparisons, and then you also see this kind of fake image of what people look like on social media versus what they are in real life, and everybody
Right.
using filters and different things to create an illusion, people
Yeah.
creating
Yeah.
entire lifestyles that they don't actually live in order to make it seem like they're rich and glamorous, but it's really just weighing down on these kids, because now you're a 14, 15-year-old kid that is comparing yourself to this, and it's like, but I'm not a millionaire by the time I'm 20. Well, yeah, none of them are
Right.
either.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Can you think of
Yeah.
anything from our childhood that was this the same thing? Like, obviously, you compare yourself with your own classmates, but there was a degree of like, well, Ricky's just, his kids or his family's doing a little bit better than mine, but I know his family. I don't. There's no mystery behind that. I
Mhm.
can't think of anything from our childhoods that same way. The two
Lifestyles
rich
of the rich and
figure
famous.
figures, the 2 rich people I'm thinking of is like Richie Rich. Remember that Richie Rich movie that came out? And
Oh,
Blank
the best.
Check. Remember Blank
Oh,
Check?
Blank Check.
Blank check for $1
Yeah.
million, and then like
Yeah.
seeing all the stuff you bought for $1 million, you're like, yep, that was the 90s because you can't
Yeah.
do that now.
Gonna pay off your
You
school
know?
debt.
Yeah. Lifestyles
Yeah.
of the rich and famous with Robin Leach.
No, God,
That was
boy,
great. Dude,
that's probably
spot on.
before my time, I think. But I don't
No,
think we
I
had that kind
love
of pressure, when we were kids.
No, it just wasn't so accessible, and then
Yeah.
you had like your friends, as a new probably Toy Story is going to show us, like even in the trailer for the new Toy Story, you see the little girl, she goes over to her little friend's house and they're all just on their iPads. And it's
Yeah.
like we used to do that with video games. Like I'd go over to my friend's house or people come over to my house, we play video games, but you're still like shoulder to shoulder, you're still
Yeah.
like talking crap, you're still like interacting. Mom
doing it
says,
together.
hey, you guys gotta come take a break. Dinner's up. And so like there was still like interaction. And now like I think we're also underselling the fact that a lot of what drives Instagram and TikTok and all those things, how many ads are we getting, but how much of like it directs you towards something, whether there's something you want to buy or you need this, or hey guys, like I'm your favorite creator, but today like I wouldn't be here without my Casper mattress. It's like
Casper mattress, yeah.
we get it too, because you got to make money from this stuff. You work hard at
Someone's got to
it.
pay for those servers, guys.
Yeah. But also there's a point too where it's like, okay, what is like real life about, and who am I about? And like I think I'm still discovering that in my late 30s, and it's like
Yeah.
when I was
Yeah.
16, I had no idea who I was. I thought things were cool, or I tried to be cool or some way that wasn't even really me. So it's like I do think at the bare minimum, 16 is a good age for these kids just to like be kids.
Yeah.
And just try to like use your imagination a little bit and just engage with people in real life. Just a little bit.
It's funny how much more I know now than I knew then, and that continues to be true every year. I think it really takes till like I'm 40 right now. I think at 40 is when I realized that I know, right? I think at 40 is when I realized that I don't know what I'll know tomorrow. But I mean, when I was 30, I had piss and vinegar, 20 piss and vinegar. I was always like, I'm smart. I'm going to take over this world someday. At 40, I'm just like, I'm doing okay. Bills are paid. Life's okay.
Yeah.
And it's like, I can't wait to figure out what I learn next year. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think it takes that long to really finally figure out who you are and know that you don't know who you are yet.
Yeah. I didn't
find
find myself into my early 30s, man. I mean, like I was in my early 30s when I started like realizing like, you know what, man, I'm a nerd, and if people don't like that, then they don't like that. But I mean,
that was
I'm
tough
gonna
to embrace that. Yeah.
yeah, because I'm sure all of us, because I think we're all similar in age. All of us were, when I was in high school, I hid that I was a nerd because, nerds got stuffed in lockers, man. So it's like, I'm like, I played football and I was a boxer to hide that I was going home and watching Dragon Ball Z and reading comic books,
Hell yeah, brother.
I wasn't a boxer, but we had very much the same story. Like I always say, like I was a pretty closeted nerd till until like 2019. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I
was in
literally
the
had
military.
a three-way life. I had football, I had FFA, which was my cowboy friends, and then I went to the band room during lunch where we played Pokemon. And so none of my friends from those three groups could talk to each other. No.
Yeah. Wow. That's why you can talk to everybody though. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Adaptable. There we go. What were we talking about again? Oh yes, the 16-year-olds in the UK.
Comparison.
I want to bring up Australia did this last year. They started this last year. And luckily, in the network, we got Aaron from Phantom Portals podcast. Guys, go check them out, of course. Their deep dive on Spider-Man really woke me up. But he is a teacher as well, and he's a quarterback, so he's also into football, amazingly enough. But here's what he said. So what he's noticed is many of the kids dislike this, and it's caused a lot of fights within families, messing up the dynamics. YouTube rose a lot because it was not seen as a problem, and TikTok got banned. So like they found another way. He said that's a huge part of it is like he's seen kids now use apps that have far less regulation, especially Discord and one of the other ones. Gosh, I'm looking for it right now. I can't even find it. Like there's an Etsy or something crazy.
I'm assuming Signal because here's the thing is what they said in the UK is that they're not going to ban Signal. They're not going to ban WhatsApp, things like that. The kids are going to get around it, and that's the whole
Teams.
thing.
They're using Microsoft Teams to chat with each other. And it's like, that is completely unregulated.
Wow.
I mean, Discord's pretty much unregulated as well.
Yeah, Slack.
And so he's saying, like, the problem is that the kids went to more unsafe places. Yeah. And the parents now kind of see this, and a lot of parents are actually creating accounts for the kids. They're just like, fine, here's Instagram, at least they have some moderation or type of thing like that. Yeah. He says it's the Jurassic Park theory that life will find a way. The kids are smart. They're going to find a way to get on there. I know that the UK right now, like immediately, because I watch one of the, not BBC, but one of their news stations a lot. And they on air was like, here's how you just get around this real quick. NordVPN, boom, 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 you're around it. And it's very easy. Damn. So yeah, it's amazing to hear from him how much, like we were talking about, how, like it's the Pandora's box. You're not going to undo social media. And so if you're not putting them in a safer spot, then they're just getting out there and they're getting dangerous, and you can't see it now.
I thought about when I was a kid and they started regulating certain, like different things. So like when Napster got regulated, right? We immediately went over to LimeWire, right? We immediately started going over to...
Everybody knew about LimeWire then too, yeah.
Right. Like we started going into different share programs, right? And it's just kind of like, if we want to get it, we're going to get it, right? It's the same concept as... if you restrict your kid from doing something, they're probably going to push harder to do that thing.
Now you can bring Billie Eilish's sold-out tour home with her brand new concert film, Billie Eilish Hit Me Hard and Soft, the Tour. Co-directed by Billie Eilish and James Cameron, this immersive all-access experience takes you behind the scenes and closer to Billie than ever before. Buy on digital and watch at home now. You remind me, you remember back in the day, real quick. You remember what you reminded me of, Phil, is when Tipper Gore came out with the parental advisories on CDs.
Yeah.
That was like, oh, okay, so that little symbol right there, we didn't care that it meant it was bad. We were like, oh, that symbol means that's a good CD then. I'm gonna listen to Eminem now because he put that on the front. It's like, that's how I know all the good CDs are. All the
I bought Tupacalypse Now because of that.
Exactly, right? Yeah. I want to say it was like Eminem, like Showtime. I can't remember what it was, but I know the, like with a red carton on the front. I bought it because of that thing, and it was actually a dope-ass album. But it was like, I know it's going to be good.
Man, I was such a goody two-shoe kid because, like, I remember, like, when Mortal Kombat was going everywhere and there was all the craze, like, don't, you shouldn't play that, so violent. And then I remember going to, like, I don't know, it was like a hole-in-the-wall burger place, but they had the arcade Mortal Kombat machine outside. And I remember seeing these kids play, and I was like, man, those are naughty kids. Like, they're playing Mortal Kombat, but it was crazy. Like, when I think about that time before I was 16, I was outside playing with my friends, or they'd come over and play video games. But in the media we were consuming, like the cartoons and stuff, all had a message. Like Power Rangers always had like a little message in there. Like X-Men always had a little message
Joe
in there.
G.I. Joe.
Yeah, like we were just talking about.
He-Man.
And so like I think like I got a sense of like what was right and wrong from like the stuff I was watching too. Like it really told me like, this is a good guy, this is a bad guy. Like bad guys are selfish, good guys are selfless. That kind of stuff. And I wonder if that's, I guess, still the case now, but it's, I don't know, it's just like a kind of an interesting thing that popped up in my head while you guys were talking, because that's the stuff I really like loved as a kid.
It's hard. I've got a friend, Joe, who actually he started the podcast with us in 2018, but it was too much for a schedule. But he's got a son, Santiago, little Arthas, and what's so incredible about this kid is Joe is adamant about raising him on Joe's childhood. And so they just got done watching Brave Little Toaster, and me and Joe, we love the Worthless song at the end of Brave Little Toaster. It's like the best song ever. And like that kid just loves DuckTales. He loves watching Jungle Book, Tailspin. And I'm just like, this kid is living the best childhood. And he might not relate to everybody around him in school, but I know the quality of the content he's getting because it's the quality that we all had. And Joe's just like, I'm gonna have to watch kids shows. It's gonna be DuckTales, And so I kind of want to follow Santiago as like this experiment, and it really feels like this like lab experiment of like, can we make a good kid in this environment right now? It's just
Dude, Brave Little Toaster. If you go back and watch that movie is horrifying.
It crushes your soul. The song "Worthless," I suggest you guys listen to it. It's fantastic, but it's all about becoming a worthless person and then being thrown away. It's so good. It's incredible.
Oh my God. We were talking about Land Before Time. My sister came over and we were like, that movie destroyed us. Like we were just like emotionally wrecked forever. But I mean, we can get into the science too, which we shouldn't do, but there's a lot of research too that shows that cartoons now, the amount of cuts, like we're so used to like TikToking everying where there's no space in between the things we say and everything. That's why podcasts are so amazing, because they let us just talk, and there's not a lot of editing out like crazy spaces. There's still mistakes in there, it's human. But TikTok has gotten to this point where it's also like fast and like jumpy and like flashes on screen and noises. And it's like we gotta
the three of us know that quite well. Right? The editors.
We gotta play the game because that's the style now, and that's what works. But the science also shows what happens is it like puts your body into fight or flight because you can't get comfortable with it. And then, you get more anxious, and it's like, just for that fact alone is more reason for me to like try to keep Will off social media as long as possible. And that's another reason why to watch older cartoons, because they're not as fast. There's a little bit more downtime. There's a little bit more settled. Like it's just pieced together at a like slower pace. And that's better and more soothing for your brain.
The entire cadence. I think that's kind of why Bluey has done so well, because Bluey, for some reason, feels like it's the same cadence as those 90s ones. When I'm watching my nephew, Marco, and I put on Bluey just because it's like, it's the theme song just immediately calms him down. But then I'm stuck watching it. I'm into the stories. And I'm
love
just
Bluey.
That shadow game they do, where like they're going from shadow. That's like that's my favorite episode. We've seen it 100 times, sure, but yeah, it's great. Yeah. So,
I've only put on 2 cartoons for Will: X-Men the animated series and Bluey. And I'm like, this is like an amazing show. Like, what the fuck? This is great.
I'm not even a dad, and I relate to Bandit so much. I love Bandit as a character. He's so good.
We all want to be a bandit. That seems like a really good role model. I watched a lot of Homer Simpson, but I would try to be a bandit. I can see myself being a Homer. Man, no strangling, but definitely beer in the fridge. Oh god. Thomas, I know you're excited about X-Men 97. What's going on?
Oh yeah. Yeah, let's talk about it. So I was just curious. We got the new teaser trailer that they launched. I think it was right before Tribeca, but they also were showing things at Tribeca. We had some friends that were there and said it looks incredible. But it got me thinking, and we've kind of seen it now with Masters of the Universe, but specifically with X-Men 97, or I guess the animated series, and now with 97. So my question for you guys is, can you think of a cartoon from our childhood that deserves this level of treatment? And Phil, I feel like you've already kind of answered it with I didn't know about the Transformers and the G.I. Joe shows you were talking about. So that might be your answers, but maybe there's other things. Like we talked about DuckTales, we talked about Chippendales, we have, I won't give my answer yet, but for example, there's some other cartoons like Biker Mice from Mars.
It's already getting
Sharks.
It's already getting an adaptation.
Yeah.
An adaptation or a continuation? I want to see something that's revitalized.
Behind it, is that Melissa Force too? Though,
so Nacelle, they've already put out the first cartoon in this series, and they're currently working on Biker Mice from Mars. Biker Mice from Mars. I think Ryan Reynolds is behind that one.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Maximum effort. Yeah, Maximum Effort is the star power behind this. The same way that $7 Production was behind the first cartoon they did. I'll get back to you on the name on that, but yes, Biker Mice from Mars is coming out. Sectars, they're going to be redoing Sectars.
Okay, that's on this list too.
Yeah, Cowboys from Moo Mesa are going to be as another one that Nacelle's doing. They are bringing back a whole bunch of OG cartoons, and they're all going to be in the same universe. So I only mentioned that because you said Biker Mice from Mars. The one that comes to mind that I've been waiting, and I know they're going to do this, is Spider-Man the Animated Series.
You think so? Even with so I was wondering about that because we got Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Do you think they're going to do 2 concurrent Spider-Man cartoons?
I think they eventually will, just because I think for the nostalgic nerds like us, I think that they are going to move up in that direction. I think most of it is because they did do almost like a backdoor pilot in X-Men 97.
Yeah,
he popped up in there for sure.
Mm-hmm.
What about you,
I
Frank?
can see them doing a Daredevil series out of that too.
That'd be dope.
I have 3 written down here. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with a classic to me. I feel like it's always forgotten. It's always in the shadow of, say, a DuckTales or a Darkwing Duck. That's Gummy Bears. Gummy Bears is a fantasy story with a banger of a theme song, by the way.
Gummy Bears.
Exactly.
Think about a modern version now with it's not the Duffer Brothers, but it's the same brothers who did the X-Men. They amped it up. Oh,
well, yeah,
man,
you have this huge fantasy story. You have this bear society trying to survive with encroaching humanity, and there's the jumping juice that they use and stuff like that. And there's this kid that's the one kid from humanity that's wanting to reach out to the bears and becomes friends with them. I just think this told in modern days with the encroaching civilization part, I think could be really interesting and to dive into. And gotta remix that theme song because man, that theme song is still just so good.
I think they need to just bring back the original theme song just because of one reason and one reason only. One, do you guys know who sang that song?
Okay, hold on. I used to know this fact, and it's something silly like Vanilla Ice or some shit. What is it?
So it's Joseph Williams. Do you know who Joseph Williams is related to?
No,
I'm guessing John Williams?
He's the son of John Williams.
There it is. Okay.
Yeah. John Williams' son, Joseph Williams, did the theme song for Gummy Bears, and that's why it's so freaking epic. Just give me that epic.
See, that the level of investment, even in the theme songs back in the day, were all so good.
Yeah.
So my answer, I've already kind of shared it, but because I think Frank and I both agreed, like, while we were talking about this idea, we both were like, gargoyles instantly. Gotta do gargoyles.
Yeah,
Like,
I would love that.
I literally told you,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say gargoyles. It's too easy.
yeah, and I was like, that's literally the first thing on my list. So like, I was like, okay,
That's
so,
been in limbo
yes,
for
we
a while.
gotta-
They've been
we
talking
have to
about
have
doing
that.
a live action Gargoyles, and Keith
Yeah.
David was on board to come back and play Goliath again.
Man, I hope with his inclusion in Spider-Man Brand New Day, I mean, if he has like a pretty cool part and everything, I hope they do that because, man, the guy literally just got his Hollywood, or his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Mhm.
Man, he deserves like even just to voice him would be epic.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think there's more juice in that tank too. I think they could revitalize it in some way, bring back a lot of the old cast, bring back a lot of the same storytellers, and just say like, hey, this is the Gargoyles for the modern age. And I think there's so much that they could do with that. The Man Out of Time story, I think, still works, especially now with
Mhm.
AI and all this stuff. Like, man, I would love to see that.
I've got two more. Anybody else got something they want to go over before I start busting these all out?
I'm trying to
go
stay
for it. I'll
quiet
do
because
them
I'll
after.
keep conversations
Okay.
going way too long. So go ahead.
That's all right. That's what editor Frank's for. That son of a bitch is gonna have a tough day tomorrow. Next up is gonna be Recess. Recess to me with like the
Oh,
power
yeah.
dynamics of kids.
Let's
Now
go.
add the social media on top of that we were just
Good.
talking about, and suddenly it's like
Dude.
so much more complicated now. And God,
Mic drop. I want
another
that.
good intro by the way, another good theme song on that one. Yeah,
Such a good dude, done. That is such a good pull. Oh my god, I would
Yeah.
love that.
I honestly think
love
that like the
Recess.
guys that make Bob's Burgers could continue the Recess story. I
Oh
think.
man. Oh my god.
Shoot,
What
I
if we
wouldn't
got
even be
Recess in middle school?
Yeah, you could totally do that.
Even that's a good story too.
I just
Yeah.
like the different sex where like what was it, the Ashleys, and then you had like the King
Yeah.
Bob or something like that.
Scandalous.
Oh my god! And that little nerdy kid that was always with the yard duty. Oh my goodness, Recess was so good.
Spinelli
And-
was my Spinelli was my
Spinelli.
jam, dude.
oh, I love me some Spinelli. Everybody does. Yeah,
Yeah.
a little wrestler
Yeah.
love. She's great. Yeah, Recess for me. And then I'll do my last one real quick. I bet money you guys don't remember this show. It's called Mummies Alive. You guys remember
I do.
this?
I as soon as you said that, I just pictured that the picture of the mummies.
Yes. Yes. There's this like
Oh.
template they would use. They used it for the Mighty Ducks as well, where they were just like one big guy, one super agile girl, one the leader that looks like this.
Okay.
Yeah. And so it was just a cool adventure show that had a different thing every week. But I loved the silhouettes of ancient Egypt. And we were talking recently about like, man, we really want to see God of War take on Egypt. And oh man, I'm thinking about watching Moon Knight again. So I'm just kind of in that mindset right now. And like the Mummy's coming back and watching Brendan Fraser get freaking ripped right now is awesome. And so
Dude.
I was just like, Mummy Alive. Bro, that
Great.
sounds good.
That's a good one. So okay, I had one where I was like, I'm not gonna add it because there's no way they'll ever do it. But along the same lines of this, remember the Mighty Ducks had like a cartoon?
Same vibe, right? As this one where it's like, big guy. Yeah.
Same vibe, exactly. Had like there was a different duck that had like the smart one, the big one, the strong one, whatever, right? The leader one. So fun story about that. I had tickets to one of the only performances Michael Jackson had ever done in Hawaii, and my little imaginary ADHD brain, my mom took me to Toys R Us that morning. I got 3 Mighty Ducks action figures. I started playing with them at 3 p.m. We were supposed to leave for the concert at 6 p.m. My mom comes in the room like, hey, we gotta go. Like, gotta go to the show. I was like, can I just stay and play with them? She's like, all right, you sure? And I was like, yep. Can I stay and play with them? They're just like, okay. She leaves, comes back. It's like 10 p.m. at night. I'm in the exact same spot playing with those Mighty Ducks action figures. And I don't regret it to this day. Well, a little bit now, but I love that cartoon. So I don't think they'll ever do it, but I think they could. I think there's maybe something they could do there. So that'd be a cool one.
It has to be the same person that made Mummies Alive and the Mighty, because now I'm even thinking about like they both had like this transformation thing. I think the Mighty Ducks had like they put on the actual like goalie helmets or something
the
like
pads.
that.
It was like
Yeah,
armor.
they were ready to fight. And then the Mummy
they
Alive
shot,
too. I
like-
love that too, where like they went from just like mummies to like suddenly they looked like the Sphinx and things. So it must be the same guy that made both of them or same team.
Probably.
Yeah,
But I love that cartoon, man. If they could ever redo that, that'd be amazing.
that'd be a blast. Any other ones that we could do before we close this one out?
I mean, we talked about it, but I'm just going to quickly mention it. Like, I can't remember the last time I watched Darkwing Duck, but there's a part of me that feels like that's a story that could continue.
That
and
is
be
actually
elevated.
being made. A new Darkwing Duck is being made. Yeah.
Is it? Okay. Well,
Yep.
I'm in luck. This is going to be great.
Yeah,
Cummings is coming back for it too.
Yeah, he said that right. He said the storyline picks up with what's his niece's name?
It's going to be following the events after season 2. So season 3 is not going to be canon. They're going to be going with season 2, and I can't remember her name. She's behind me, right there. I can't remember her name.
Well, because they're saying that she's going to be an adult in this now.
Okay, yeah.
Is it Gosling?
Gosling.
Oh, you're thinking Darkwing Duck. Oh my god, I'm thinking Gargoyles. My dumbass.
No, they're saying that. Yeah, I know, right? No, they're saying so Gosling's going to be an adult in this, and yeah, so and it's basically it's a whole thing with all this.
Man, the world's falling apart, but all the stuff from our childhood is coming back in an awesome way. All right, we just got to take the good with the bad.
The millennials are finally in charge of some stuff, man. Don't worry, we'll save this world one piece at a time, baby.
Exactly, one cartoon at a time.
One cartoon at a time. Phil, any more for you before we head off to this thing?
Nah, man, I've said enough.
All right. For our recommendations, I want to do a bonus Dungeon Crawler Carl check-in. We normally do it with Squeaks, but we have another reader on board with us. Yeah. Phil, where are you at right now in the story? You're in the first book still. Where are you at?
I'm in the first book. I just finished chapter 30. I just gotten they just got to the second level, and they're dealing with Audette. Or they just had the conversation with Audette, like they just did the whole reveal that she's not this giant mantis monster. But I mean, like, oh my god, I'm so hooked on this book.
So good.
It's so good, and again, like the way I look at it, because the whole idea was I wanted to read it before Peacock started the series, and now I'm sitting here in my head, like every scene that happens in the book, I'm like, how does this translate into this live action series they're doing? Honestly, because again, just this is my storyteller brain that comes out. This needs to be done with as much practical effects as possible, and they need to do puppets.
I could see that being. I either want that or just straight up fully animated. So I could see like puppets would be fun. Yeah.
Fully animated would be cool too. I think that if they did something of like a more modern version of like the late 80s puppet movies, or like what Star Wars has been doing lately. Like think of Mandalorian and Grogu, where 90% of it was puppets, right? Like I want something like that. I want to see the goblins as like, these just weird looking puppets.
The ones I'm thinking of that would look great with puppetry. Let me just check with you real quick. The boss they had to finish to go down one stairs. Were they in tuxedos and dresses?
Yes. Okay. The pigs.
Those dudes, the pigs in tuxedos and dresses. How great would that be with like dark crystal puppetry?
Yeah, that's exactly what I think is like the dark crystal style puppets, right?
Yes.
I in my head I was thinking about the bro boss that they fight. He fights right before that. The juicer. The juicer. And I'm just thinking like, just like, have you seen the picture? So like it was a meme that was going around for a while, but it was like this massively ripped dude, but it was an eagle's head.
Yeah.
Like that,
just like that, but like a lizard.
But it's a lizard head, right? Like
yeah.
Like, and just going, bro, the entire time, dude.
Yeah.
Squeaks
just finished the juicer. He just got past the juicer now.
No, the juicer's so good, man. So I mean, like, I'm so like, I do want to see this as a show. Given that it's being done by Seth MacFarlane, I know Seth MacFarlane likes doing puppets and stuff like that. So I want to see like what in a perfect world, right? It is live action Jim Henson. Like I want to see Henson Studio do this, because I forget what the murder mystery adult film that they did was that Henson Studios did, but it's when I bring that up as an example, it's that level of production, because hate the story whether you like the story on that or not, the puppetry was done so well in that movie. That level of puppetry production with Dungeon Crawler Carl, because then you can keep it as absurd as you want it, but then it's also not so overly CG that it takes you out of the story.
I kind of think, just to play it safe as animation, I think of Invincible. Like, Invincible to me felt like it was impossible to make that. Then when they made it with the animation, you're like, okay, then you can fully flex. Because some of these fights, like, how are you going to do that without having it just be animated? It's going to be very interesting. You know, Seth also does a lot of CGI with Ted. You know,
He
and
does.
and it's the Peacock company that does Ted. It's doing this as well, so maybe there might be something there.
Yeah,
I
like
don't know.
the fight with the Hoarder for sure would need to have some level of CG in it, and then the same thing when you're
Yeah,
fighting
that's such
the
a
big
sad point.
roller pig, like that
Yeah,
would have to be a level of CG. But
because
like,
also, like, a key aspect of the roller pig thing is that they're in the middle of an orgy, so it's
yeah,
like, how are you gonna show that with puppets? You know, a lot of, you don't
Oh,
want
they could
Jim
do with
Henson's
puppets.
name being tarnished.
oh, I mean, Jim
I mean,
Henson's name was already tarnished when his son made that other movie. So
Yeah.
Happy Time Murders, I
Happy
think it's
Time
called.
Murders. Yep, Happy Time
There it
Murders.
is. That's it. That's
Nailed
it.
it.
I will. I'm at 17 on book 2. I'm past the I'll say circus arc, which it was ending on such a great conversation, on such a great moment. God, and then actually the thing right after too, where like literally, like, I've been listening while I drive around, trying to just pace myself out a little bit. I'm like at home, just sitting in the car with the radio on, just listening, and I should be going inside. I'm home already,
I've been
but
doing
I'm
the
just
same
like
thing.
locked in, and like I just got to hear how this conversation goes, and then when they're like, there's this thing where they're like, they talk about like, oh hey, there's 2 big dramas going on, and you're like, wait a minute, we're only with one of them, and then finally he realizes, like, wait a minute, what do you mean by 2 dramas going on? And they're like, shit, where's Donut? You know? And it's just like,
Oh,
it's so good, man.
it
Oh
cracked
man,
me up when she was like, "Well, you can you say your catchphrase?" And he's like,
yes,
"Catchphrase?" And she's like, "Yeah,
yeah,
you know, your catchphrase." He goes, I don't have a catchphrrise." And then she shows him the B-roll,
montage, yeah,
the whole montage, and just the amount of times he goes, "God damn it, Donut!"
yeah. And that's on all the shirts, is like, God damn it, Donut. Or one of my favorites is how she writes in caps, and so
Yeah.
it's always like,
That's right. He goes,
it's
"Stop
so
writing
good.
in caps. It seems like you're yelling." She goes, "Because I am yelling."
I am yelling. That's one of the shirts you see all the time too. Oh man. I'll tell Squeaks, like I told you, there's gonna be a thing with the Metal Arcs. They're coming back. There's gonna be a thing with
Okay.
them where you feel like this has to be the end of this book, but there's a few more chapters. They're introducing one more character, and they might not even feel like a fully fledged character, but they do such a really good job of writing this character and how they work with everybody else around them, that you will fall in love with this thing.
That makes
And like
sense because
yeah,
I love
it's also
the
on all the
interaction.
shirts too. So don't look at the shirts. Yeah,
Yeah, I love the interactions that he has with the Metal Arcs when he does come across
yeah.
them. But then also is it Abigail, who's the homeless lady?
Oh, just finish that first book, bro.
She's such a trip.
She is a trip. Yeah. The Metal Arcs, though, like what goes down with them, I honestly, it was like, will he survive this? I know there's a lot more books, but yeah, it's crazy. So, it's really good.
Yeah.
Thomas, I know you're going to be jumping in on this as well with us, man. You got to.
He just hears us
been
nerding about
downloading
it.
as we've. I know.
You are
As
downloading
we've
it?
been talking, it's been downloading. So I'm ready to go.
The best narration I've ever heard. I mean, I really like the Dune one. Sandman has always been my, like, the gold standard for me is the Sandman one.
Yeah.
This is the best I've ever heard. It's that good.
It's funny
Wow.
because like I was talking with my buddy Raider Ray about this because he's going through his second listen through of the entire series because he's listened to the whole thing.
Nice. Yeah.
And I was telling him I love how Jeff is so Patrick Warburton in
Yeah,
with the
he is.
delivery. And he goes, yeah, so that slowly dies out because that whole voice, he kind of like goes into that voice, but he goes, spoilers, 5th book, Patrick Warburton comes in and does a voice.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I was like, that's
I'm
awesome.
gonna send you. Yeah, I'm gonna send you a clip of God, I can't remember his name. The voice actor. I'm blanking. I'm gonna send you a clip of him doing an example of day 1. Damn it, donut to book. I think 5 or 8 or whatever.
Oh,
Damn
Jeff
it,
Mace.
Donut.
Jeff Mace.
Jeff Mace. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll send you the clip where you could hear how much he developed the character over time, and it was like, yeah. I mean, even in book 2, you really feel like, oh, okay, he's more in this role more. It's just a stand-up job. I'm actually so much so that when I'm done with this series, which it feels like it'll be a while, I'm gonna look for more that's made by the same company, just because whatever book it is, I know it'll be made of this quality. and that's really
Yeah.
important.
I listened to a whole thing with Matt Denneman and Jeff Mace doing like they were ranking the voices.
Yeah.
And Jeff talks about how much he hated. Like he said, I can't even go back and listen to the first book because I did Patrick Warburton so much, and
Yeah.
he grew into his own character eventually, and I can't even go back and listen to it anymore.
Yeah, it's very much Patrick Warburton.
Yeah.
All right, we are getting long in the tooth. Before we head out, what have you been doing over, Phil? Phil, of course, part of Disconcerting, part of our network. What have you guys been working on?
So we've got a whole bunch of things happening this week. We're going to be talking with William Bernhard, who wrote the book, The Superman Wars. Really interesting book. And then at the end of this week, we're going to be going to Sinister Creature Con, big horror convention out here in Sacramento. So it's going to be a whole bunch of fun. Seeing like a lot of actors that are out there. I'm going to record more horror themed videos for like if you guys aren't following us on social media, we do a lot of these mashup videos. So I'm going to be doing a horror themed one, and then it's also Father's Day weekend, so I've got a special video coming out for that on Friday too.
That's cool. You also brought back a segment of your show, or a spinoff of your show, I guess, that is so fascinating. Comic-Con Conversations. How do you say it? Tell me about it, man.
Conversations.
There it is.
Yeah.
The brain's not working.
Yeah. Comic Conversations is a really fun thing that we do. So, we do a lot of stage interviews. We do a lot of interviews with celebrities on stage. And what we end up doing is taking those interviews and cutting them in a way where you get that interview. So the idea is, have you ever wanted to go to a Comic-Con and go to a panel, but then you missed that con, so you couldn't go to the panel, or you were at the con and you missed the panel? Your chance to go and see that again. We've been putting in video form lately, but we still put out the audio versions of it, so you can go and listen to that interview.
Yeah, it's really good. I can't tell you how many times I've been at a con and I can't go to because like multiple panels going on at one time. You know the struggle.
Right.
Yeah, so that's perfect, guys.
And the latest
so make sure you guys
one
are checking it out.
I was gonna say the latest one we just put out is the Firefly cast. So
Oh,
that's
yeah.
a lot of fun talking with
That was a
them.
good chat. Yeah. Make sure you guys are checking it out. Follow Disconcerting and everybody else in the network as well. Phantom Portals, Atlas Podcast, yada, yada, yada. All in the description, guys. All right. Recommendation for the week. I'll just throw this out there real quick. Sunday is Hot D, everybody. We got House of the Dragon Season 3.
Can't wait.
Season 3, yeah. And the early reviews are in for the first 4 episodes. The review copies that went out. Hey, HBO, what the fuck? Where's mine?
Right.
Okay, we might have too many fucks now. But so far, the reviews are fantastic. And so it's like, yes, brother. So make sure you guys are watching that along with us, and we'll talk about it next week. Any recommendations from you guys?
Okay, if you haven't started yet, Hacks finale. I thought it was incredible. Watch Hacks on HBO. It was so good. Frick knows I always ride for Hacks, and it ended. So watch that. And the last thing was, I really liked 007 First Light. I don't think we talked about it at all during this time, but you should get it because I have not like played through a game that fast in a long time. It's so fun. And I've said this online on Threads. I do believe it's like one of my favorite James Bond stories. Yeah,
that is really good testament right there.
Yeah.
There's like there's definitely a few movies in front of it, but like this story, and I'm not an origin story guy. This was an origin story done right. Super good.
Nice.
I like the studio, so yeah.
Yeah.
Anything you feel?
Yeah. So I mean, we talked about it a little bit earlier, but Spider-Noir. If you like something that is a happy medium marriage between comic book story, but then also something that is, if you like noir stories, if you like those types of stories, it is really well done. It is so much better than I even myself gave it credit for. So go and check that out. And the Masters of the Universe, guys, if you have not gone to go see the Masters of the Universe movie, do yourself a favor and go watch that movie. It is so good.
When you're done with that, by the way, when you're like, man, this music kicks ass, look up who did the music, guys.
Oh, I saw who did the music, and I saw who did the music, and
like,
and that
this
made
feels
me
like
even more
Flash.
excited.
For a reason.
Exactly. But like Masters of the Universe, the biggest thing that I will say on this, it is everything that I wanted in a Masters of the Universe movie. I famously on our show, I had like a whole list of the only way that I'm going to accept this movie is if I get these things, and they hit every single thing but one. And that one thing that they didn't hit was something that can still be told in a later story.
Yeah,
and
I think we're definitely getting.
Yeah, well, Skeletor's origins, right? So I mean, that's the whole thing, and I'm hoping that
he's
they
a third in
marry.
line. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm hoping
And
that
if
they
that
tell
doesn't
that
sell you
story. Yeah, he
guys-
knows what thing I'm talking about. But yeah.
Yeah. That was just awesome. I'm happy for you. And if that doesn't sell you all, only 1 out of 3 of us fell asleep in it.
Pretty good. That's the new review system we use. How many of us fell asleep in it? All right, guys. Again, hit us with those reviews. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, 5 stars. Send us a pic. We'll send you a mug. And thanks for hanging out with us. We appreciate it. I know this is a long one, but sometimes that happens. All right, everybody. Have a great week. Bye.
Aloha.